The Square Ball Podcast.
Welcome to the show. It's brought to you along with Levi Solicitors. 10% discount at levisolicitors.co.uk/the square ball. Dan, Michael and Rob here with the weekly show. Before we shamelessly hawk off our stuff at you, we should mention that Levi's do remote appointments for you now, so you can use them no matter where you are in the country. Take advantage of the 10% discount. Some of the services they do, Michael?
Well, the conveyancing, the wills, the probate, obviously my favourites, but they also do commercial stuff, commercial dispute resolution. I'm not reading it or anything. Licensing, professional negligence, all sorts of legal stuff.
levisolicitors.co.uk/the square ball. Tell you what, if you're watching on the YouTube version, look, you're looking dapper there. Look at that nice hat you've got on.
That's me drinking from a Willie Nonto mug.
Which is out of focus.
It's going to get there. There we go.
Beautiful.
Boom. There it is if you're watching the video. That's nice, isn't it? Yeah, these are back in stock. As are these hats. They fit big heads too. That's why I put one on.
I thought there was something different about you. I couldn't quite work it out.
Proof of concept. There's going to be a big reveal in a minute where I think you see I've been to Turkey within the last few days as well. I'm coming back with a majestic head of hair.
What's nice about that hat is you've left the tag on so we can sell it.
Correct.
So
yeah.
if you get the Lucky Dip hat, you get a bit of Michael's DNA for free. Although, mind you, we have told you about depositing your DNA and all the other stuff.
It's not all mine.
No.
We spread out the
load.
The load, so to speak.
Terrible.
Christ alive. No, they're generally pretty clean.
Yeah, if you want to get the Nonto mugs or the hats.
One thing I've realised, they don't... With headphones, it's kind of weird as a bobble because it sticks in the middle. Although, given I'm wearing a woolly hat inside, I could just go for the one ear like I'm a shit DJ.
I think you look great, mate. I wouldn't worry.
Why
about
did you
it.
look at me when you said shit DJ then?
No reason, Dan. No reason at all.
I'm retired from that game now anyway.
After Ben Fry bested you.
I mean, you have been DJing for us this afternoon.
Yeah, we've been listening to some 80s power ballads and some 90s handbag house, which was all fun, but none of it relevant to this show. We talk about Leeds United. Part one of the show is news, isn't it? Javi Gracia is our new manager. At the time of recording, still isn't officially, because those chumps at the Home Office are not letting him in yet or whatever.
You can't get tomatoes, you can't get a manager.
I know, there you go.
Shambles.
So you don't necessarily need to hear from us. Me and Michael, we've kind of covered this off on the Phil Hayes show that's out towards the back end of this week. So we'll turn to you, Rob, and your reflections on what it has been like as a week in your experience as a Leeds United fan.
It feels now, I guess, work permitting, a bit of a relief. I think reading about Javi Gracia, one of the descriptions one of his former players said about him is that he's very normal as a guy, and I think it strikes me as quite a normal appointment, and I like that about it. It's until the end of the season, a guy with lots of experience. As much as I love Scoobs, they were kind of bigging him up, saying, "Well, he's got 10 years experience coaching in high schools and as a futsal coach and in some professional academies." But you look at Javi Gracia and he's got 20 years experience of coaching professionally, and that ranges from the third tier in Greece to La Liga and the Premier League. And he's kind of experienced a lot. I'm intrigued by those years in Spain before he ended up at Watford.
Is this the Malaga Valencia?
Malaga, more Osasuna and Malaga, because Osasuna, he was relegated from La Liga, and they were his boyhood club. And
it's interesting because Leeds United are my boyhood club, and we could get relegated. So me and him just the same.
But yeah, I think the actual thing of having experienced relegation is almost good for him because he knows how things go wrong in relegation battles. And then he went to Malaga, and they were tipped to go down. Their squad had been stripped, and he finished twice in the top half with them and played good football and got really good results against bigger clubs. I've written on the blog about them kind of bloody in the nose of Real Madrid and celebrating ruining their party, which I think is a good Leeds United trait. And also another thing I really like about him is that he seems to have loads of mates that are his backroom staff. There's a photo of him accepting the Manager of the Month award at Watford, and he's there with his coaching staff, and there's loads of them. There's about 10 of them. And you go back to last season, and Jesse Marsh was saying that they were having to do 2 or 3 jobs each extra that they shouldn't be doing, the coaching staff, because there just wasn't enough of them.
It's like Redders and the Cones again, isn't it?
So you just think having some people all hands on deck doing some work, I think should help.
Are you suggesting coaches are a good thing in football?
Yeah. More of them. It seems to help Bielsa, didn't it?
We don't know fully about the backroom staff yet, do we?
No, it was Phil Hay said that he's a point in his own, isn't he? And when he rocked up at Watford, I think he immediately came with 4 assistants. So you sort of think, do that at Leeds and just get some people actually on the training ground, because it's just been ever since the start to Bielsa, it's been a mess on that front. It's been people coming and going and not really, like I say, doing more than they should be, I think.
Yeah, it felt like when Marsh came in, he didn't have any of his own people, so it felt like we stuck an advert out and went, anyone fancy coming to do some cones and that? Do some...
Is that, I mean, you are an expert coach, Michael, so obviously what's involved in coaching just generally?
You know what the bit I like doing? I like the bit where you bounce the ball off the thing and then the players volley it. That's my job.
Oh, that's a special little the net thing.
The rebounding net thing. That's my job.
Is that the technical?
Yeah.
So if you want to get one of those, just type in rebounding net thing.
Moving the men for the wall.
Yep.
I'll do that.
Yep.
That's a good one. I sometimes lay down behind it myself, even though they don't jump. I just like to be involved.
Mikel Antia.
I'm going to take my hat off because it's quite warm.
It's distracting me as well.
They are quite warm.
Yeah. Oh, that's great coming into the spring months. Ooh. There we go. There's the head we know and love.
Oh, I think the hair transplant's still in the hat.
Mikel Antia is the name that's been linked, former Rafa Benitez coach, isn't it? And I see that, and I see Newcastle, and I'm thinking of Vernon Anita because the letters almost look the same, in the same way that everyone's doing Garcia instead of Gracia initially when you write it.
So we're getting Vernon Anita in?
In short, yes.
We need a left back.
In short, yes.
Yeah, on the left backs, it made me think actually weirdly of this appointment on left backs, because when you see Matt Targett and Dan Burn and just Premier League left backs going, it feels like Gracia is almost like one of those obvious things that we could have just done.
Yeah.
But generally Leeds have tried not to do an obvious thing.
Well, that's the thing, the ownership are kind of desperate to be clever and edgy and a bit hipstery. But actually the goal is to be a normal Premier League club. And as much as that doesn't necessarily excite me, for the time being, I think acting like a normal Premier League club might help you do that.
And,
So
and
it's
that's
not
the
a bad thing.
when Radrizzani, when we came up and he's saying, within 2 to 3 years we want to be pushing for Europe, there was the desire almost now, looking back on it with the aid of hindsight, to run before you could walk. And I think maybe that ninth place finish hoodwinked him a little bit.
Yeah, it's always been there, I think, hasn't it, since we've been up? It's I got into slagging off the kits and stuff on a match ball. I can't remember. I was just annoyed about various things.
Yeah. Just wildly swinging away at anything you could find. Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. But it's like, don't stop trying to.
No, you're right.
Stop trying to do such complicated stuff.
But you're right with the kits as well. Just give us some normal kits for a bit. Like the home kit, it's unspectacacal but relatively normal. But even then, like the
home kit is actually quite nice. But
it's just that wrong shade of yellow.
Yeah.
Annoyance. And and again, people like getting annoyed at the training wear. Like Adidas supply a bunch of random coloured training wear anyway. So you're always going to get that. But people have been annoyed at kind of the orange stylings just because it's an extension of the kit annoyance, isn't it?
Yeah, and
you can't do anything right.
And general Leeds United annoyance. We came to accept the maroon burgundy, whatever it was, away kit because Rafinha was good in it.
Yeah.
So if Gracia can just sort the team out, sort the kits out, he'll be doing fine.
Well, if he can win some games in that yellowy thing,
the Stilton,
it might prompt some sales.
Are we going to play in it again this season? I'm trying to think who we've still got to play away from home.
Got to go to Chelsea.
So no, we'll wear white there with some change socks, won't we?
Arsenal?
Yeah, we'll wear it at Arsenal. One will obviously beat them and deny them the title.
That would be quite good. Is that what that is what we're reduced to, isn't it now? Just ruining parties. Well, I suppose
again, it's one of the things we're good at.
Yeah, writing about Javi Gracia and that game against Real Madrid this week. The reason I was interested in it was because going back to when we were just terrible in the Championship, often the very best days we had were pissing on other people's bonfires, like stopping Watford getting promoted and going to QPR when they were celebrating it. So you sort of think, well, if that is all that's left in this season, do you know what? It can be fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth saying we do have something quite important to achieve this season as well.
Yeah, it's quite, we need to stay up, don't we? If you're not aware of what
I would do,
he's on about.
That's what I'd go for.
Just looking at it, obviously the kit question, we need to address that. That's the thing everyone's talking about. We might wear it at West Ham, even though we've got no need to change because they're in blue shorts this year. Man City, I think we'll probably wear Sammy's pyjamas, the third kit. We've got Bournemouth, that'll be all white. Fulham, maybe, but you suspect maybe we'll go for the...
No, it's got to be the dark kit against Fulham.
Black, orange, yeah. We've also got to go to Arsenal, we'll wear it there. Wolves will wear the home kit, and Chelsea will wear the home kit. So we're only going to see it maybe once, twice more at a push.
Sad times.
Will you be sorry to see it go?
We'll see it on the bargain rail for many a years at the Ellen Road Superstore.
It's one of those things that in years to come it might end up as a cult kit. That
Some people like it, in fairness.
I think
children mainly.
it would help that kit a lot more.
Sorry if you bought it. By
We
the
were
way.
playing well. And
Yeah,
people would
that's-
actually look
yeah.
at it fondly because it's been a dreadful season.
That
I
is
think
the
people are just sick of everything.
That's
aren't
the
they?
test, isn't it? It's always a kit always looks worse when the team's been bad.
Yeah. Some kits you just picture Paul Butler in them or whatever, and you go,
Well,
no.
I mean, yeah, watching stuff for the guide this week, I was just thinking, the kits are terrible.
The guide, which guide to be clear? Because we just did the
Of course, there is.
we did just do the Michael Bridges one, but we've got one coming up on John Carver.
Yeah, it's because you said Paul Butler. I just had a impulse.
Yeah, off the back of I'm not sure when it's going to come out, this one, because we've got a midweek game next week. But yeah, I was looking back at the John Carver period. It does make you think: did we get on the Scoobs hype train too quickly?
I think it was always just willing him to be successful, wasn't it? In the absence of anything else. But really, it was a wing and a prayer, wasn't it?
And he's got a fun name. John Carver wasn't called Scoobs, was he?
He was John Concrete Carver though, which was quite good.
Michael Bridges himself has responded to our guide. He's enjoyed listening to the podcast about it. Has confirmed, because if you haven't yet seen it, watched it, there was some discussion about him being in IKEA, because I bumped into Michael Bridges in IKEA shortly after that game. And he has confirmed that his hot dog technique, because we wondered, is he eating them north to south, as in the vertical approach, shoving...
The way you eat your hot dog.
Yeah.
If you're confused by Dan's description of it.
Yeah, or do you go east to west? Like, because you remember his celebration of it almost like eating a corn on the cob, side to side, east west. That's what Moscow was proposing. Michael Bridges happy to confirm, always north to south, with American mustard and tomato sauce on top. That's ketchup.
I bet Victor also does it side to side. To be different.
To be hipster. Which brings us back to Javi Gracia and the Southampton game, which we'll preview in a few minutes. Do we know yet if we need to start some direct action against? Is it the Home Office who are processing the work permit application?
Probably. I mean, they're very prompt at doing things. If
it
is them.
They hate foreigners, don't they? So
Yes, absolutely.
so what is the situation as far as you understand it?
Can't Levi sort it? Don't they do this sort of thing?
They do, actually. So do you want to know some of their services?
We've already done this one, Dan.
Have we done this one?
Well, we've done the plug, you know.
Would it fall under for you or for your business? Because they do offer both areas. Immigration, yep, for business.
It's Phil. We spoke to Phil.
That's immigration and also
ahead of recording this, didn't we? And he seems to think it will be fine and it will be sorted.
yeah.
It's just hopefully it's in time. But I mean, come on, he's doing training, isn't he?
I noticed, because this is our podcast as opposed to the athletic one. And on the athletic one, we were kind of joking and saying, I wonder if they've been training indoors, if he's been peering through the fence. But that's their podcast, so we've got to be more grown up on that one.
Do you think he's there with those glasses with the fake nose and
That's
tats?
exactly what he is.
Yeah. Just someone speaks to him. Just
I've been spending too much time with you.
have he? Just nope. I am Cameron Toshak, just here to collect some things. Yeah, I mean, hopefully he's had a chance to work with them, even if it's just to.
Maybe they've gone
a
to
chat.
visit him in his hotel, had a little sit down and a chat. Nice to meet you. I'm just here from abroad, having a look around, so on and so forth, and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You imagine he's given them some direction on what he would like them to do at the weekend, which presumably is win the game.
That's what I'd go for.
Yeah.
Well, he got the job, didn't he? Because he did that presentation and it contained lots of stuff about the Southampton game. So if you could just pass on the PowerPoint,
Yeah.
they can just read that in the hotel and then we'll win. It'll be fine.
That's basically exactly what I said. The PowerPoint.
There we go.
Yeah.
We've still got Jesse's PowerPoints as well, which he didn't do one for each game. It was the same.
I think it was just a single laminated sheet, wasn't it?
Yes, with a big line down the middle.
Dear me.
Poor old Jesse. We should stop kicking him at some point.
Well,
But you know,
Give it a little while first.
we can upset people.
Did you discover
in a more sustained way?
Didn't you discover some shitty reviews about us from the wrong side of the pond?
Yeah, Americans aren't happy with us on iTunes
For taking the piss out of poor Jesse. Who's been handsomely rewarded for it, by the way.
Yeah, they're generally quite good reviews, but there are a couple of angry ones from the United, because it tells you which country they're from. A couple of angry people from the United States.
What did it say?
We know nothing about football.
No, we know. That's the thing.
But nor did Jesse. So
I mean, I've only been watching it for 40 years now. Man and boy,
Man and boy.
but I know nothing about football. Interesting.
You should have just appreciated it more.
21s won, didn't they? Without Scoobs.
Won a game.
There've been some movement in the coaching stuff there, hasn't there? Like Scoobs is not having it anymore.
It's Paco Gallardo, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who, again, he only really rocked up, middle of autumn? And I don't even know if the club actually announced his appointment as like a youth coach. It was all in the Spanish press. But yeah, he's taken over. So poor old Pudgy, Michael Pudjak, is still the assistant.
Is that what you know him as, Pudgy?
That's what the players call him again, I think. It's like a Scoobs thing. It's Pudgy and Scoobs.
Pudgy and Scoobs. It's a great buddy movie, that.
It's good.
Isn't it? So what happened there? Sorry, the 21s, it was 2-1. Ruter, Aronson, Perkins and Joseph all started.
Good side.
Little Brendan was back among the goals.
It wasn't great. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I mean, they've not been winning, have they, for ages? No. Aronson scored a good goal. I thought he was all right. Kind of good moments and bad moments.
Insofar as you're just getting minutes in the legs.
Yeah, so he played the opening half along with Ruter, and then Sam Greenwood came off the bench and came on in the second half, and was probably our best player. Created lots of chances, hit the bar with a brilliant effort from about 30 yards. But yeah, I thought Aronson did all right in the first half, got some minutes, scored a nice goal. About a minute later, he kind of danced through the defence and looked like he was about to score again, and then just completely fluffed his shot. Ruter, what did you make of him, Michael?
You're terrified about Ruter, aren't you? Because we've spent lots of money on him. Because it just speaks to your character about spending money on stuff.
Well, it just goes to show there was no need. Sam Greenwood was better, and he was like £1 million. Should have bought 35 of them instead. Just absolutely enormous squad.
Can't put any of them in.
Just
none of them can play.
He got a D team trying to just give everyone some minutes. The thing with the reserves is, you see from players we know playing in it that it's a lower standard. Like when you used to watch it, and you'd see someone who would be criticised when they're in the first team, someone like Tyler Roberts or Jamie Shackleton. You'd watch them in the reserves and they'd look really good all of a sudden. And Ruter didn't look really good. I suppose with him and Aronson, you would not have thought, if someone had said to you, there are two people on this pitch who cost 35 and 25 million pounds, you would probably have gone, is there?
I just didn't really notice him. I think he dragged a shot wide early on, and then I didn't really notice him. Again, it's just getting minutes into him because I don't think he's really fully fit. But yeah, you were watching it thinking, it would have just been nice to see a little bit more from you. And it would calm people down a little bit. Whereas I think having a bit of like I say, not bad, but just a really quiet evening wasn't what people needed to see. At Ellen Road as well, albeit it wasn't a massive crowd there. And also, it was Villa we were playing, wasn't it? And their forwards did kind of cause our defence a few problems. And I don't think that maybe helps Leeds kind of have this dominant game of all the ball and all the chances. But yeah, it would have been nice to see a bit more out of him.
And they are second in the league, playing top of the league. So Southampton top of the league, Leeds United second. It's the flip reverse of the Premier League, isn't it? The Premier League 2. Second division, whatever it is.
We did win. It's worth saying we did win the game because McGurk came off the bench and scored.
And hurt himself
late on. Yes, and did appear to have dislocated his hip when while scoring, but he did get up and look fine afterwards. Didn't
there was a nice moment. He was interviewed on LUTV after the game, and he says, I just did the splits, and I think it was the previous game, Charlie Allen had nicked a goal off McGurk, and it was Allen who set up McGurk for this winner. And apparently Allen just walked up to him, and while McGurk was lying on the floor in loads of pain, he was just like, there you go, you've got one back now.
Needs to work on his flexibility, that boy.
Yeah, so they're playing on Friday down at Southampton in a table topper.
Yes, so there is promotion at stake here for us. Down the bottom of the league, Derby County played 13, got 1 point. It's not going great from. It's not brilliant down the bottom there, is it?
It's almost like there was some grotesque financial mismanagement went on there that decimated their entire setup. Well. Never mind.
We'll get over it, don't
congrats to the women who were through to the semi-final of the County Cup. 5-1 win against Yorkshire Amateur.
It was Abby Brown, the hero again. Hat-tricks in consecutive weeks. Flora's written a blog about it, and Rick Passmore, the manager, I think he'd changed like half the team, try and give his squad players a bit of a run out. But Flora's saying how Abby Brown was just not having anyone go near her number 9 shirt and just grabbed all the goals again. And then, they played last night, Wednesday night in the league, away at Stockport, and lost 3-2. But Abby Brown again was in the goals, so she's got 8 in 4 games now. And then they're into another semi-final at the weekend in the Plate.
And that's Southampton. They won't go away, will they, bloody Southampton? It's a weekend of Southampton. That wraps up the Leeds United news then for part 1. Stick about then, preview of the Southampton game at home on Saturday. Coming up for you in part 2 and Heroes and Villains part 3 as well. Stick around.
The Square Ball Podcast.